On the night of our 9th wedding anniversary, my husband brought his pregnant secretary home. With a casual tone, he gave orders as if I were staff. Danny is picky with food. Every meal needs to be different. She can't sleep alone, so move to the guest room. I didn't argue. I picked up the suitcase I had already packed and headed for the door. The housekeeper tried to stop me. Mick just laughed. Let her throw her tantrum. She'll come crawling back in 3 days. They even placed a $2 million bet that I wouldn't make it through the night. But what they didn't know was that I was truly leaving. Amabak was already waiting. As I stepped outside, Mick called out, asking me to leave my safety bracelet for Danny. That bracelet was the only thing my parents left me. Mick saw the pain in my eyes but stayed indifferent. Name your price, he said. I remembered when I refused to give Danny my ski goggles once. He left me naked on a freezing mountainside. I unclasped the bracelet and placed it on Danny's wrist. May your baby be safe, I said. Mick added that as long as I behaved, his child would be mine too. Suddenly, the bracelet snapped and cut Danny's leg. Mick rushed to her side, yelling for the doctor. Last night, when I had a heart attack, he stepped over me to go stargazing with her. He didn't flinch. Just told the housekeeper to disinfect the living room. He didn't want Danny smelling anything foul. As I turned to leave again, he grabbed my wrist and told me to apologize. Then he yanked me down in front of Danny. My knees scraped against the shards on the floor. You broke it on purpose, he accused. Say sorry. I had said sorry for everything. Bland soup. Checking on him. Finding the hotel text. I bowed 3 times. Then I looked at him and asked if that was enough. He sneered. Your precious old man isn't here to protect you anymore. The doctor walked past me like I didn't exist. While Mick doted on Danny, I walked out. But bodyguards dragged me back in. In the study, they tied me down. A thick needle pierced my vein. The doctor warned it was dangerous because of my heart condition. Mick didn't care. Just make sure Danny gets better, he said. When Danny coughed, he ordered the doctor to draw double. The doctor hesitated. She might die. I whispered to him to continue, but to let me go after. Mick was ready to scold me again, but Danny called his name, and he left. 2 days later, I woke up in the hospital. Mick sat nearby with porridge. I refused. I'll do it myself. He asked if I felt unwell. I asked for my phone. He froze, then called the housekeeper. When I checked, I saw dozens of missed calls. Who's been calling? He asked. Someone you don't know, I said. He leaned in. How long are you going to act spoiled? I used to apologize. To calm him. Now I just pointed to his phone. It's Dee. His face softened. He stepped out to take her call. My phone rang. I answered. Weren't you going to meet me? Did you change your mind? No. Just give me a few more days. That's all I ask. When Mick returned, I was smiling faintly. A smile he hadn't seen in years. He didn't ask about it. He assumed it was my cousin. Then he said he'd come again tomorrow. But he never did. Instead, I saw photos of him and Danny at dinners and galas. On the day I was discharged, he posted pictures of them kissing on a hot air balloon platform. I left a comment, wishing them a lifetime of love. 10 minutes later, he called. I didn't pick up. I walked past the OB/GYN department and saw them together. A nurse smiled at Danny. Your husband warms the ultrasound gel for you. I touched my stomach. I remembered the baby I lost in the car accident. I cried during a video call to Mick, but saw Danny on the screen. He lost a game, she said, and now he's tied to the bed. Mick later called me, holding a teary-eyed Danny. You're pathetic, Ashlyn. You couldn't even hold on to your own baby. Honestly, I wish that truck had finished the job. Snapping back to the present, I tried to leave, but Mick barked. Why are you just standing there? I stammered, saying it was a coincidence. Danny clung to him and thanked me for the blood donation. She asked him to take me home with them. He agreed. In the car, I saw a pair of damp lace panties on the seat. Danny gasped, blushing, and threw herself into his arms. Mick chuckled and watched my reaction. But I stayed calm. That unsettled him. You've been glued to your phone. Chatting with your cousin? Just reading the news, I replied. He wasn't convinced. And without warning, he grabbed my phone. What's your password? He demanded. My birthday, I said. 9 years of marriage. A simple 6-digit password. And still, he couldn't unlock my phone before it locked from too many failed attempts. The rest of the ride passed in silence. When we got home, Mick immediately helped Danny, who was nauseous from pregnancy, into the master bedroom full of concern. Then he instructed the cook to prepare all her favorite dishes. Coming back downstairs, he caught a glimpse of me walking alone toward the guest room. Something about my lonely silhouette made him pause. After a moment, he told the cook, prepare a couple of Ashland's usual dishes too. Set the table for 3 tonight. In the guest room, I opened my suitcase, only to find all my clothes had been slashed to ribbons. Thankfully, my passport and important documents were untouched. Just as I turned to leave, Danny blocked the door. She held a black bottle in her hand, scanning me with scorn. Wow, Ashlyn. You've got some nerve, she sneered. Even after I made you the laughingstock of the entire upper circle, you're still shamelessly clinging to the Hudson family like a parasite. Oh right, your grandma died last month, didn't she? Now that your precious old woman's gone, I guess you've got no one left to rely on. Makes sense you'd cling to Make like he's your last lifeline. She laughed and shoved her phone in my face. Remember the day you begged Make to fly a helicopter so you could see your grandma one last time? Want to know why he didn't? Because he promised to take me to the beach to watch the sunset. Look, the photo of us kissing was taken that day. I slapped the phone out of her hand and grabbed her by the throat. The bottle slipped and hit the floor. The sharp stench of gasoline filled the room. In the chaos, Danny lit the gasoline. Flames erupted. Having just been discharged from the hospital, I quickly succumbed to the fumes and collapsed. Through the haze, I heard Make's voice. Ashlyn. Then came the servants. Sir, it's too dangerous. Please wait for the fire extinguishers. Move. Ashlyn is still inside. He rushed in, only to find Danny inside too. Make, help. Without hesitation, he scooped her into his arms and walked away without glancing at me. 30 minutes later, after calming Danny down, he searched the house, but I was gone. Late that night at the airport, I mailed a package, boarded a flight to the UK, and coughed my way down the aisle. Just before takeoff, a text came from Make. I don't have time to play hide and seek with you. Danny has a prenatal checkup tomorrow at 10 a.m. Come with her and get your lungs checked too. I didn't reply. I removed the SIM card and powered off my phone. Make, from this day forward, we're done. The next day at the hospital, Danny asked Make, is our baby okay? Make pulled her into his arms. The doctor said the baby is perfectly healthy. No signs of trauma from the fire. That's such a relief, she whispered. You've been so quiet since we got here. I thought something was wrong with the baby. Her words made Make pause. He remembered the moment in the fire. Ashlyn staring at him with cold, empty eyes. Frustrated, he checked his inbox. No reply. Not a word from her. Ashlyn had always responded when he called. Always gave in. But now, she was ignoring him? He let out a bitter laugh. He escorted Danny home, then went to work. As he entered his office, his assistant approached. Sir, old Master Hudson has returned. Emergency meeting in conference room 1. Make nodded. Buy some luxury handbags and trendy jewelry. For Miss Danny? No. Send them to the Roberts family estate. He assumed that was where Ashlyn went after leaving. 1 week later, after finishing a major project, Make returned home. In the living room, he saw a small figure curled up on the couch. Ashlyn, how many times do I have to tell you? When I'm done working, I'll come back. But as he got closer, he saw it wasn't Ashlyn. It was Danny. She looked at him with teary eyes. Make. Ashlyn hasn't come back. I've sent her so many apology texts. She hasn't replied. Maybe I should move out? Make pulled her into his arms. Don't think too much. Take care of your health. Whether Ashlyn likes it or not, this is your home now. Half an hour later, he stood on the balcony in his silk robe, smoking a cigarette. He hadn't smoked in years. He opened his contacts. Her number was still there. His thumb hovered over the call button. After 2 cigarettes, he didn't call. He sent a message. Ashlyn, tomorrow is Grandpa's 80th birthday. Don't try anything stupid. Don't cause trouble for Danny or the baby. The next day, the celebration began. Make arrived hand in hand with Danny. They smiled, posed, and played the perfect couple. Until Arnold Hudson entered. Make quickly let go of Danny's hand and helped his grandfather greet the guests. Why didn't Ashlyn come with you? Arnold asked. She's been preparing your gift and needed rest, Make lied. 2 hours passed. Ashlyn still hadn't arrived. Make stepped away and called her. The number you dialed is unavailable. He redialed. Again and again. Then a courier arrived with 3 packages. All from Ashlyn. Arnold opened the first. It was an embroidered silk tapestry, the 100 Deities blessing scroll, hand-stitched with care. He opened the second. Inside was the heirloom jewelry set his wife had gifted Ashlyn when she married into the family. Everyone went silent. Make opened the last box. Inside, a divorce agreement and a medical report. He froze. Ashlyn wanted a divorce? He stared at the report, unable to process. Arnold slapped him across the face. You beast. Look what you've done. You've ruined her life, Make. Family members rushed to support the old man. The guests began to leave, quietly one by one. And Make stood there alone, staring at the divorce papers in his hands. No one knew how long he remained frozen. Eventually, without a word, he tore the agreement into pieces. Ignoring Danny's frantic shouts behind him, he snatched a car key from the driver and drove straight to the Roberts family's old estate. But the house was dark, completely silent. He rolled down the window and waited at the gate, chain-smoking the entire night. He smoked until his throat was raw, his voice hoarse. But the lights inside never came on. It wasn't until 5 days after the banquet that he finally learned the truth. Ashlyn had left the country. Why? Just to avoid him? He clenched his fists. It wasn't like he did anything unforgivable. Just the kind of mistake men make all the time. So why did Ashlyn get to walk away so easily? Just disappear and divorce him like it meant nothing? No, he wouldn't allow it. He refused to accept it. Once he tracked down her exact location, Make booked the earliest flight out. He didn't go home or pack a bag. He went straight to the airport. Just as he was about to check in, a familiar voice cried out behind him. Make, are you abandoning me and the baby? He glanced at Danny's now slightly rounded belly and gently patted her head. I've asked Assistant Thompson to arrange a new place for you. Move in today. At that, Danny began to sob. As long as I can be with you, I don't care if we live in a trash heap. But our child is innocent, Make. If Ashlyn truly loved you, she would accept our baby as her own. Not sabotage your grandfather's birthday and humiliate you in front of everyone. A woman like her. Make cut her off coldly. And what right do you have to judge my wife? I once thought you were sensible. But clearly you've forgotten your place. Taking the boarding pass from the staff, he looked at her without emotion. No matter how many children I may have outside, Ashlyn will always be my only wife. When you move out of the villa, take all your belongings. I don't want Ashlyn coming home and being upset because she sees a single trace of you. Danny stood frozen, tears pouring down her face as she watched him walk away. Make, I never thought you'd be more naive than me. You've hurt Ashlyn so deeply. Do you really think she'll ever come back to you? But he didn't take her words to heart. He knew his wife. For 9 years, all it took was an apology and a few gifts to win her over. But this time was different. This time, she was angry enough to send him divorce papers. No gift could fix this. When he landed abroad, he went straight to a tattoo parlor. He handed the artist a sketch Ashlyn had drawn years ago. I'm in a hurry. No anesthesia. 7 hours later, blood stained his shirt as he left. Unfazed, he bought a gift worth millions and 999 white roses. Nearly 48 hours without sleep, Make drove straight to a vineyard estate outside London. On the highway, he rehearsed his apology again and again. Ashlyn, I missed you so much. And finally, after crossing oceans and making countless sacrifices, he found her. But the bouquet fell from his hands the moment he saw her. Bathed in golden sunset light, Ashlyn stood in the arms of a tall, handsome man. She laughed freely, feeding him grapes, her face glowing with peace. Make stood frozen. Who is he? Ashlyn's body tensed. The man, Brian, tightened his hold around her. You must be Make. I've seen your wedding photo with Ashlyn. Didn't expect you to look even worse in person. Ashlyn giggled at Brian's teasing. Make felt a blow to the chest. He clenched his fists until they bled. Since you came all this way, I'll be polite and introduce myself. I'm Brian, Ashlyn's. Brian? Make cut him off. Got it. You're the son of the Roberts family's chauffeur. The same ungrateful bastard Grandma Rhea kicked out for stealing. Brian didn't react, but I did. Make, Brian is nothing like that. And what are you doing here? You're trespassing on private property. You've already broken the law. Make's face darkened. Ashlyn, I came all this way. Please, stop acting like a child and come home. Home? I stared at him. Are you out of your mind? We're divorced, Make. Didn't you see the agreement with my signature? Just as I was considering printing another copy, he said. That ridiculous piece of paper? I tore it to shreds. Ashlyn, I know why you're angry. The situation with Danny is over. She won't bother you again. He stepped closer, reaching for me. But I pushed him away. Back when the Roberts family fell from grace, your family helped us. I married you out of gratitude. For 9 years, I tried to repay that debt. Now that Danny is pregnant, the Hudson family finally has an heir. I truly wish the 3 of you a peaceful life together. The message was clear. Make's face turned pale. Wife, are you telling me the past 9 years meant nothing? That you were only with me out of gratitude? You expect me to believe that? No, of course he didn't. Because if I didn't love him, Why would I beg for a kiss every morning? Why would I cry endlessly when he had surgery? I loved him. Everyone could see it. But the more I gave, the more he trampled on it. He forgot that hearts feel pain. Eventually, we stopped breaking. We simply go numb. Make's voice cracked. Ashlyn, I didn't realize Danny would hurt you so much. It was just one night. I only brought her home out of responsibility. Once the baby is born, I'll send her abroad. Will that be enough? I shook my head. Make, I don't care what you do with Danny. I have a new life now. I'm not going back. Please just leave. A new life? What new? Frustrated, exhausted, and weakened from blood loss after the tattoo, Make didn't finish the sentence. His vision blurred. The world spun. And then he collapsed. By the time Make woke up, it was already past 11 at night. He noticed a glass of water on the nightstand, likely left by the staff. Misunderstanding the gesture, he felt a flicker of hope. Despite the pain, he pushed himself up and staggered out of the room, determined to find Ashlyn. But when he reached the rooftop terrace, drenched in cold sweat, what he saw nearly stopped his heart. Ashlyn stood in Brian's arms, the two of them locked in a slow, passionate kiss. A sharp pain ripped through Make's chest. Pale and furious, he stormed forward and grabbed Brian by the collar. What the hell are you doing to Ashlyn? At that point, he could no longer pretend. Brian wasn't just the childhood neighbor. Not anymore. Who gave you the right to touch my wife? Brian let out a calm chuckle. Your wife? Make, did you ever treat her like one? Did you ever cherish her? You. Before Make could strike, Brian's patience snapped. He punched Make across the face. If Ashlyn weren't so kind-hearted, I would have left you bleeding outside the gates for the wild dogs to finish the job. Listen closely. Ashlyn is my fiancée now. No matter how shamelessly you beg, she will never look at you again. Make froze. He slowly turned to Ashlyn, eyes wide. Is that true? We've only been apart for a month. And you've already agreed to marry someone else? I didn't bother explaining. I didn't mention that I'd said yes to Brian's video proposal the night I found out about Danny's pregnancy. Instead, I leaned into Brian's shoulder and smiled. A soft was all I gave. Make's expression shattered. You've lost your mind. You're still my wife. I never signed anything. And now you're throwing yourself at another man? How dare you do this to me? How dare I? I tilted my head, amused. Does your consent mean anything to me? Make, you think far too highly of yourself. Let me say this one last time. You mean nothing to me. We are truly, completely over. Then I turned away without a second glance. My fingers laced with Brian's, and we continued our quiet, moonlit conversation. No one knew when Make left the estate. No one cared. But he didn't return to America. Instead, he bought a high-rise apartment near the vineyard, one with a view of the estate. Each day became routine, remote meetings, followed by drives to the estate gate. Every visit he brought gifts. Flowers I had once liked. Things I had mentioned in passing. Things he had never cared to give me during our 9 years of marriage. But I never acknowledged him. I had learned something valuable. A woman should never shape her life around a man. The world was vast. My only job now was to make myself happy. As for Make, I assumed Grandpa Arnold had begged him to win me back. So I made the call myself. I told Arnold I had a new fiancée and a new life. I asked him not to let his love for me keep Make trapped in the UK. Even after that, Make stayed. For a whole month, he waited outside the estate, just for a glimpse of me from behind a tinted window. But the first to break was Brian. That night, after returning from a party, we saw Make standing under a street lamp, holding his usual bouquet of white roses. As I stepped out of the car, fireworks exploded behind me, rainbow-colored, beautiful. They were the same fireworks from Make's proposal. I had said yes back then with tears in my eyes. Brian saw my hesitation. It broke him. He stormed over and punched Make, starting a brawl. Make, you shameless bastard. All you ever do is hover like a lovesick mutt. You're the most pathetic parasite I've ever seen. Make shot back. If I'm a parasite, then what are you? Ashlyn and I were together for 9 years. If it weren't for her accident, if she hadn't lost the ability to have children, I never would have let Danny keep the baby. He looked at me. She misunderstood me. She thinks I cheated. That's the only reason she settled for you, a second option. But once I explain, she'll end the engagement and come back to me, where she belongs. That was it. Brian laughed darkly and punched him again, harder. When I lost our child in the accident, Brian dropped everything to be by my side. And Make. He booked a vacation to Prague with Danny. While I bled in a hospital bed, he was sightseeing. I tried to stop the fight, but they wouldn't listen. Then a police car arrived. All three of us were taken to the hospital for checks. Despite my worry for Brian, they placed me in Make's room. That's when I realized he had arranged all of it, just to get time alone with me. I laughed. Was all this really necessary? Lying in bed, 2 ribs fractured, Make blushed and said, Ashlyn, I miss you. I'm going insane without you. As the doctor tended to his injuries, I saw the tattoo on his chest, the sun, the moon, and the stars. It was the design I'd drawn when I found out I was pregnant. Back then, I'd shown it to him full of joy. And he'd said coldly, the moon? You think someone like you deserves to be the moon? Now, while Brian had stepped away, Make grabbed my hand and held it tightly. Ashlyn, I want to apologize. I'm sorry for everything. I'll do anything to make it right. Just please forgive me. Before I could answer, his phone rang. It was Danny. Make, help me. Assistant Thompson just barged in with people. They took me to a hospital. They're trying to take the baby. Make didn't flinch. He just smiled calmly at me. Danny, I already know you drugged me. This child can't be kept. As for the fake posts you paid to spread online, claiming my wife is infertile, they've been wiped clean. Slandering my wife has consequences. The doctors won't use anesthesia. And from today on, you'll never have children again. Silence. Then came her panicked sobs. Mr. Hudson, please. I didn't mean it. Please spare the baby. No, don't. Her screams pierced through the phone. I blinked, my brows tightening. Make noticed and ended the call. He gently took my hand, pressing it to his cheek. Ashlyn, I'll send you the surgery video later. Maybe then, maybe you'll forgive me. Even just a little. I pulled my hand back. This hospital has a good psychiatric department. You should consider checking in. Make smiled weakly. All right. Whatever you say. He thought he could spend the rest of his life making up for it. But 3 days later, I married Brian in a grand, beautiful ceremony. By the time Make found out, it was too late. He burst into the venue just as the priest finished the vows. He arrived in time to hear me say those 2 final words. I do. No. Ashlyn, you can't marry him. He dropped to his knees, clutching his chest in pain. Trembling, he begged. Baby, please, we're not divorced. I never signed anything. Don't leave me for someone else. I looked at him with nothing but disgust. Make, since your grandfather kindly gave me a red envelope of blessings, I'll forgive you for interrupting my wedding. But this ceremony has no place for you. So do me a favor, leave. Go back to wherever the hell you came from. My words hit him like ice water. Make finally lost control. Tears streamed down his face. Ashlyn, I know I was wrong, he sobbed. Please, just give me one last chance. I swear I'll change. I can't live without you. Ever since you left, I've thought about you every single day. Even in my dreams, it's always you. The way you used to love me, the way you looked at me. Ashlyn, I love you. I love you more than anyone else ever could. He poured his heart out, desperate and broken, as if his words could somehow bring us back. His body trembled, his voice cracked, and the veins in his forehead stood out like lightning. Then, in one last fit of madness, he ripped open his black shirt, revealing the still bleeding moon tattoo on his chest. Pointing to it with bloodshot eyes, he shouted, You are my moon. My wife. I'll give you anything you want. Just don't leave me. But instead of being moved, I softly laughed and covered my mouth, amused. Make froze, lost. I met his shattered gaze and said calmly, Make, I already have someone who truly loves me, and I love him. His name is Brian Mateo. He is my husband now. As for you, even if every man in this world were to die, I would never choose you again. I watched Brian's ears flush with joy as he slipped a 9-carat diamond ring onto my finger. Make stood paralyzed, the blood in his veins turning to ice. As I passed by him, holding Brian's hand, he lifted me into a Princess Carrie and walked proudly toward the honeymoon car. But behind us, something horrifying happened. Make grabbed the silver cake-cutting knife and with tears in his eyes screamed, You're just afraid of getting hurt again. But it's okay, I'll show you my sincerity. With one sharp motion, he stabbed the knife into his own chest and collapsed, trembling in pain. Look, Ashlyn, my heart. My heart has always loved you. Please look back at my true heart one last time. His pitiful cries echoed, but I never turned around. Instead, I snuggled closer to Brian, who smiled down at me with gentle eyes. Hubby, crazy people are scary. Please take me away. Brian carried me quickly out of the chapel and placed me gently in the passenger seat of his car. Wife, let's elope. Okay. With a smile in my eyes, I leaned into his shoulder. As he hit the gas and the engine roared to life, we sped away, toward our true happiness.